All right, welcome to Tuesday's Tools on Purpose at the Business on Purpose podcast. Tuesdays are all about equipping you all with the tools that you need to run your business with intention and purpose. Our mission here at Business on Purpose is to liberate business owners from chaos so you can make time for what matters most. My name's Patrice Miles, and I'm one of the coaches on the team. And every Tuesday, I love to dive into the world of tools because in a world where your time is your most precious asset, finding those right tools can really help streamline your operations. So, in each episode, I love to bring you interviews with experts. We share success stories, provide step by step guides to empower you. But remember, it's not just about having the right tools, you actually have to use them. So, we are on week 5 of our 6-week series on ownership preservation, legal strategies for safeguarding your business with Samy Diab from the Diab Law Firm in Houston, Texas. Today's topic is service and customer contracts. Samy, thanks so much for joining us again.
Hi, Patrice. Pleasure to be with you today.
Great. And just for our listeners that didn't join us in the previous weeks, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Samy Diab. I'm the principal attorney here at Diab Law Firm, PLLC. We're located here in Houston, Texas, but we help clients across the state and nationwide through their legal problems and stay out of legal problems. We represent businesses across industries and across various sizes.
I love that you help them to stay out of legal problems too, which is great.
Yes, ideal, definitely ideal.
Which is what we are trying to do today. So let's
For
talk
sure.
about service and customer contracts. So what exactly are service and customer contracts?
This is your primary legal tool, your primary document, your primary customer-facing document. This is simply a contract that sets forth the terms of your work, your service, your goods for the end client or end customer.
Yeah. Well, tell me, Samy, for clients that are small business owners, just trying to run their business themselves, we talk to somebody, we give them that estimate, they accept the estimate for the job. What do I need a contract for?
Right. Yes. There are a lot of terms out there that other than, acceptance of payment. I could go on about this for a long time, but I'll distill this into a few examples. What happens in the event of delays? Who's going to be responsible for paying for that? Are you going to have some sort of interest or delay payment if your end customer or client delays? Is there a paid if paid provision or paid when paid provision such that if you're a subcontractor and the GC doesn't pay you, can you delay paying your subcontractors, your suppliers? What in the event of a dispute? Can you file a lawsuit or can you do away with the dispute by mediation, for example, or arbitration, for example? If there is a dispute, what state or what county is it going to happen in? What sorts of courts can you litigate in? Is there going to be a maximum? Do you want to limit the amount of your liability, an often overlooked resource? You can limit it, for example, to the total amount that you were paid. Are you going to provide for liquidated damages in the event that you incur some sort of damages from the project or job? There are so many different clauses, so many different things you can account for, but it really is all about accounting for contingencies and unexpected scenarios.
Yeah, no, I love it. Is there any best practices or resources that you would recommend for small business owners in regards to service and customer contracts?
Yeah, so number one, and the most important, have them. Make sure they exist. We've worked with far too many businesses that just accept payment on kind of nebulous terms or on some sort of one-page kind of purchase order, document, and it's all too often not sufficient. We help clients out of those scenarios and help them prepare things that will protect them and account for all contingencies in the future. If someone's just starting out and they're not in the game to hire an attorney to prepare something or to counsel them on this subject, there are a variety of tools online that can give you some kind of basic launching point. Things like, Rocket Lawyer and your legal Zooms and all that stuff. They'll typically have some sort of basic instrument that you can use as a starting point.
Yeah, thank you so much for those resources. And, I understand a lot of the smaller guys, needing to have, a service contract or a customer contract drawn
Mhm.
up for them, that this
Sure.
signed estimate, isn't going to be good enough in the court system if for some reason they need to go collect payment. But let's
Mhm.
talk about some of the bigger guys. A lot of
Mhm.
our home builders, use a home builders association contract. Do you recommend that contracts like that should be evaluated by an attorney to make sure that there are specific things in there in regards to their business?
Yes, yes, I would recommend reviewing those contracts with an attorney. Those, to be clear, giving credit where credit is due, of course, those forms do tend to be better than your other forms, like, your Rocket Lawyers and Legal Zooms and so on, because typically those associations, those organizations will have an attorney prepare them, or at least someone with a dual background prepare those forms. So it is a superior instrument, but not always perfect. They are forms after all, and not always perfectly tailored to the client. So yes, I would recommend reviewing them with legal counsel.
Yeah, yeah. And so we've talked a lot about more of those customer contracts. I'm providing you something, and then you're, of course, in return going to pay me for that. And I've either sent you an estimate and you've accepted it. But what about in the service industry? I mean, what
Mhm.
about me as a coach? Should I have a
Right.
contract?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yes. So those are service agreements. They can be titled, more specifically, of course. You can have anything from legal service agreements, you can have coaching agreements. But yes, absolutely. Those are arguably even more important because sometimes because services are often intangible, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of work a bit harder to define exactly what you're going to be providing so that your end client or customer can't come back and say, hey, look, you promised you would give me this, and this should be included in this term called coaching, so, or in your general, legal services or whatever, things like this. So you do have to be really careful about defining exactly what you're going to be providing, whether that's goods, and even more importantly, in the case of services.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll ask you one more question, then I'll leave you alone. Um,
Sure.
I have heard before that the title of your agreement can all make a big difference, whether or not it
Mm.
says contract or whether it says agreement or whether it just says, whatever you might put up there. Does it matter?
Now that's a good question. I actually like that question. It's a very niche question. So it can matter. In some contracts, not in the majority, I'd say in a minority of contracts, there will be a clause in there that discusses specifically titles and heading titles, or section titles. And that clause will sometimes set forth that the title of this contract and the title of the sections in this contract are only for reference and only for easy convenience, and don't and are not conclusive of the actual subject matter of this agreement. When that clause exists, then in that case, it doesn't matter. But if you don't have that clause, and most don't have that clause, in that case, yes, the titles of your agreements can make a difference.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is great. I've learned a lot today, Sammy. So thanks so much for joining us. If for some reason there are someone out there who's either just getting started or maybe they've been doing this for a while, but they've never really put in place that service or customer contract, I'm
Mhm.
assuming this is something you can help them with.
Yes, yes, it sure is. Folks are always welcome to call me or my office, and we'll be happy to help them.
That's great. What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yes, so you can call me directly at 713-588-1657. That's my direct line. You can call the main line at 281-560-4913. Or you can also email me directly at sammy@diablawfirm.com.
Awesome. Well, Sammy, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Patrice.
Guys, that is a wrap for Tuesday's Tools on Purpose. So enjoy your new tool, service and customer contracts. But remember, every small action can lead to big results. So, what action are you going to take today in regards to preserving your business through service and customer contracts? Make sure to write it down and then go and implement it. For those of you all that are just tired of living in chaos and you're ready to start working on your business instead of in it, I'd love to show you how you can finally start seeing some return on investment in the areas of your time, money, and a business that can truly run without you. If that's something that you've wanted, but you just don't know how to get there, it's okay. Just schedule a discovery call with me, and together we can decide what that roadmap might look like for your business. You can email me at patrice@mybusinessonpurpose.com, or if you're watching our YouTube channel, just scan the QR code or type in that URL that Kevin will put up on the screen. Otherwise, we always have our Healthy Business Owner Assessment if you're brave enough to take it. Kevin, again, will put up that QR code and URL on our YouTube channel, and you can find out how healthy your business is. A 0 is not good, guys, but a 40 is a perfect score. So if you're brave enough, take the test. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks so much.